Okay. When you're making calls, there's 4 important documents you need to be using. First, to get there, you go to the Google Drive, click on Guy in the Back Records, and click on Assistant. So the 4 documents you need to use is the callback document, the call report document, the lead document, and the caller checklist document. To find call report, you go to Assistant, and then click on Call Report. Let's open that document. To find callback, you go to Assistant, click on Callback, open up that document. To find lead, you go to Assistant, lead, open up that folder, and this folder contains all of the lead sheets, every city you would call. And then the caller checklist is a little bit more difficult to find. You go to roles/jobs, and roles/jobs is where all the instructions for all the roles and jobs are. Then you click on Over the Phone Process. Then you click on Making Calls. Then you click on Caller Checklist. That's where you get the caller checklist. So the first thing you need to do before you make any calls is go to the callback document. The callback document will tell you which callbacks you need to make. So today is the 15th of November. Let's go to November 15th. There are no scheduled callbacks for today. But this is what something would look like. Let's say we looked at the 9th. This should have been updated, by the way, but it hasn't been. If you need to call these people back, what you would do is let's look at San Jose. Have they been called back? No. You haven't called them back yet. What you would want to do is go to the lead sheet that is San Jose. So you would click on Lead, San Jose. Now who do you need to call back? This number. You copy it. And you hit Control F, which will help you find anything. And here's and once you have that Control F opened, what you want to do is type in that number that you copied and pasted, and there you go. You see that this is the guy you need to call back. So you would give him a call back. When you give people callbacks, you always want to write the date that you're calling them back, and then start taking notes. When you take notes, the important thing you want to do is look at the caller checklist before. You might even want to print out your caller checklist. And that tells you a couple things to look for, and the shorthand you want to write in your note. The shorthand is extremely important because that helps us get statistics. So let's read this. If you're calling back, make sure you put the word recall in notes. Very important. That's the first note. Why is the word recall being written? Because that makes sure that you're calling back everybody. If you don't write recall, you technically didn't call them back. So, recall, before I even call back. That way, even if they don't pick up, I called them back, they just didn't pick up. Have you asked them how many screens they fix at a time? That's up to you to do. Have you asked for the person's name? That's up for you to do. Some other things to put in your notes: put asshole if they're an asshole, put VM if you get their voicemail, put SLP if you speak to a live person, put Send email. If you need to send them an email, that's important because virtual assistants will send emails for you, hopefully, in the future. Hot lead, if you really think they might be willing to send the screens. Has local, if they have a local guy. Free agent, if they have a free agent. And decision maker, if they are the decision maker. Also, I'm going to put this in here. That's important as well, because let's say you call them and you get the voicemail and you want to call them tomorrow. You would write in the notes, and the reason that's so important is because if you need to call them back tomorrow, a virtual assistant would go in and go back to the callback list, and they basically would take this information and put it for tomorrow. So when you opened up tomorrow, you'd say, oh, I gotta call this guy back, without even needing to think about anything. So the only other thing you need to worry about is the call report, and this is important. You can see on the bottom we have all these tabs. Doesn't matter how many lead sheets you make. So we have today's tab. It doesn't matter how many leads you call. Every call that you make, you want to basically copy the notes for that day. And then when you get a long scrolling list of everything, what you want to do is what's called a closeout. This is the closeout list right here. All you do is you copy this, put it on the bottom. This is a terrible example, but you would go through all the notes and you would just do this. And this would search for how many results had hassle in it. Then you would hit, so right here it's 0. I mean, this is going to be easy to close out because we only have one lead. I'm going to say that these guys, you got the voicemail. Let's say that's what happened. Okay. Asshole. There you go. You get 1 in the list. So it'd be 1 voicemail. And then it would be 0 for everything else. I mean, I could go and search them all, but let's waste your time. So basically, no matter what sheets you do, every time you make calls, you want to copy and paste them into the call report for the current day. That will be able to tell us how many calls you made in that day. And when you finish doing that, you want to just write close out in bold 18 font, because the virtual assistant's going to go in and make sure that you close out every day. Alright, hopefully those instructions weren't too brutal.